Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you for joining us in here, in-house, and thank you all for joining us outside in the virtual world. I hope you're watching, and I hope you share with us this Shabbat service. We'd like to open with a song, a version of Shalom Aleichem, which was actually written not too long ago by Debbie Friedman, one of the last songs she wrote, and we like it very much, and it's a very pretty version. So if you know it, I hope you'll sing along with us.
And it's on page?
Well, the words would be on, I think, 627 or so. That's true, that's a good... Is that right? All right. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchi Amlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon, Bimelech, Malchi Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon, Bimelech, Malchi Amlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni l'shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon, Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon, Bimelech, Malchi Amlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shuvchem l'shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon, Bimelech, Malchi Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon, Bimelech, Malchi Amlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Okay, I think we should do one more song, maybe something a little more joyous. And this is a song called Shir Chadash, which means a new song. And it's also sometimes called Shiru Ladonai. I think this is also in the prayer book. I don't have the prayer book with me or the page number. Not too many words, somewhere around 640 or something, 642, 648.
648.
648, all right. So if you know this, especially the chorus, I hope you'll sing along with us on this one as well. 1, 2, 3, 1. Shiru unto God. Shiru Adonai, Kol Haaretz. Shiru Adonai, Shir Kadash. Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing to God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shiru Adonai, Kol Haaretz. Shiru Adonai, Shir Kadash. I will sing a new song unto God.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I'm Rabbi Susan Abramson for all of you out there, coming to you from here at Temple Shalom Emeth in Burlington, Massachusetts. Also happy to be indoors after a week of Hanukkah lightings outside in the cold. And I am joined this evening, I'm thrilled to have our Cantorial Soloist Ben Silver here along with Phyllis Berlow on the keyboards, our temple matriarch, and Sheldon Cooperman on the guitar. What's your title?
Next matriarch.
You could
Next
be,
matriarch.
You could be a patriarch.
Patriarch. Well, just don't call him late for dinner.
Please don't.
Okay. So we are here celebrating Shabbat and I'm calling this a happy Shabbat. I am feeling happy and optimistic on this Shabbat because I've been feeling so troubled in recent times, as have all of us, by so many things happening, but we've got a really positive Torah portion for this evening where there's a lot of good things happening, so I'm choosing to focus on all the good news in our Torah portion, which I will explain a little bit later. But first we're going to begin our service by lighting the Shabbat candles, which you may find on pages 120 and 121. And I would like to invite the matriarch to light the candles for us this evening. And I'm going to move the candles over. This is, oops, the challenges of having one camera angle. All right. Here you go. Let's light them first.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen, 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 amen,
And now that we've lit the lights of Shabbat, we're going to continue with the singing of Lecha Dodi, welcoming the Shabbat bride, which you may find on page 138.
This is a version of Lecha Dodi that the Temple Band used to like to do from time to time, music written by Craig Taubman. Lecha Lecha Dodi, Lekrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Kabbalah. Lecha Lecha Dodi, Lekrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Kabbalah, la 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 la. Lecha Lecha Dodi, Lekrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Kabbalah. Lecha Lecha Dodi, Lekrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Kabbalah. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Ishmiyanu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, V'shemu tiferet v'liti la 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 la, Lecha lecha dodi, lekrat kala, B'nei Shabbat Kabbalah. Lecha lecha dodi, lekrat kala, B'nei Shabbat Kabbalah. Verse 5. Hitoriri, Kiva ori, Kumi ori, Uri, Shir daberi, Kivod Adonai alayich nigla la 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 la, Lecha lecha dodi, lekrat kala, B'nei Shabbat Kabbalah. Lecha lecha dodi, lekrat kala, B'nei Shabbat Kabbalah. Last verse. Shalom, Ateret Bahala, Gam Besimcha, U'Tzahola, Toch Emunei, Am Segula, Boikala, la 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 la, Lecha lecha dodi, lekrat kala, B'nei Shabbat Kabbalah. Lecha lecha dodi, lekrat kala, B'nei Shabbat la 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 la. Lecha dodi, lekrat kala, B'nei Shabbat Kabbalah. Lecha dodi, lekrat kala, B'nei Shabbat Kabbalah.
And now that we've concluded our Kabbalat Shabbat service, welcoming Shabbat, we're going to continue with the next section of our service, the Baruch Hu, a part of the Shema U'Virchoteha. Please rise and body your spirit. Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due forever. Praise be Adonai, to whom praise is due, now and forever.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamavorach. Baruch Adonai Hamavorach. Leolam Va'ed.
Page 148. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, bechokma poteach sha'arim, uvitvuna mishaneh itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umesader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, Uma'avir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uven laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo. El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch alenu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Top of page 149 together. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Page 150.
Malkein Adonai Eloheinu b'shachvenu ובקמנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח לדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו ובהם נגה יומם ולילה נגה יומם ולילה ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל אוהב עמו ישראל
Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Continue on pages 152 and 153 with a Shema. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed.
Please be seated.
Please turn to the next page as we chant the V'ahavta together. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha v'hayu הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We read together in English. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God, Adonai Elohechem Emet. Now we continue on page 158 with the singing of Mi Chamocha, the song the Israelites sang when they crossed the Red Sea to freedom from Pharaoh's grip.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש. תורה תהי לו עושה פלא, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש. תורה תהי לו עושה פלא, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלי ענו ואמרו אדוני. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש. תורה תהי לו עושה פלא.
Thus it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praise to you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. Continue with Hashkivenu on page 160, asking God to create a shelter of peace over us.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom, L'shalom, Ve'hamidenu Shomrenu L'chayim, Ufros aleinu Sukat Shlomecha, Ufros aleinu Sukat Shlomecha.
Page 161. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. Continue with Vishamru, page 162. The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ולעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ולעולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, בני ישראל, עוד היא לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ולעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. שמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ולעולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. שמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ולעולם.
And we now continue with the next section of our service called the Tefillah, which means the prayer. And please rise as we continue on page 164.
Page 166. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Ve'Elohei Avotenu Ve'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Ve'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor Ve'Hanora El Elyon גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. Page 168. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה, רב להושיע. מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל. Page 170. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Together, you are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. We read together on the top of page 173. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. We now continue on page 178 with the song Shalom Rav, a prayer for peace.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Ta'azim Be'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Ta'azim Be'olam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Ta'azim Be'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Ta'azim Be'olam. Tov b'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Ta'azim Be'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Ta'azim Be'olam. Ta'azim Be'olam.
Blessed are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamvarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. Continue on page 371 with the Misha Beirach Get Well prayer. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. This evening we think in particular of Shella Haron, who's just recovering from surgery, and Gina Rippin. And at this time, if there are names of others you'd like us to keep in our hearts and our minds, you may say their names aloud or in your hearts as I look out there and look around the room. We also recall all of those who are right now in the hospital or at home suffering from COVID. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for all of their health to be restored and all of their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them all a complete renewal of body and spirit. and let us say, Amen.
Excuse me. This is a more extended version of the Misha Beirach, one that we like very much, written by Lisa Levine, music and some extra lyrics as well. Misha Beirach Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak v'Yaakov. Misha Beirach Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, v'Rachel. May the ones who blessed our mothers, may the ones who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding, strengthened by the power of your love. Misha Beirach Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak v'Yaakov. Misha Beirach Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, v'Rachel. Bless us with a vision for tomorrow. Help us to reach out to those in pain. May the warmth of friendship ease our sorrow. Give us courage, give us faith, show us the way. Misha Beirach Avotenu, Misha Beirach Imotenu. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well.
And now that we've sent out our strength and our support for all of those who are in need of it, we think of everything that we're grateful for, and Shabbat is the time when we're not supposed to think about our problems and our worries. We're supposed to think about our many, many blessings, and we're supposed to reflect upon the past week and see how much we have to be grateful for. So one thing that I'm grateful for, that I've been grateful for a while now, but this week in particular, is science. Because it's just incredible how scientists have been able to develop these vaccines so rapidly, and that we've all been able to have gotten vaccines, whoever wants them, and hopefully everybody who hasn't gotten one yet will. It's extremely, extremely important that we all be vaccinated and then have our booster shots, and just recently our children have been able to be, those of 5 and older have been able to have their first vaccine. So on this Shabbat in particular, I'm really, really grateful for all of those scientists and researchers who have developed this amazing ability to fight this pandemic around us. And at this time, I'd like to ask anybody else to, I'm sorry, Ben, I'm like totally
fine.
Blocking you.
No, it's easier to stand here than to try to walk by.
Is anybody else there with something they're grateful for? Yes, Mindy.
Speaking of boosters, my daughter had her booster today, so I'm very grateful for that.
Right, so Mindy's daughter had her booster today, so we're extra grateful for that. Who else has something that they're grateful for to share?
I'm grateful for having recently celebrated our 20th wedding anniversary. My daughter got her booster yesterday, and I'm grateful to have the opportunity to come back and play with Ben and Phyllis, which is something we haven't had a chance to do in a couple of years.
Thank
Been
you.
that long, yeah. It's grateful as well.
Either of you guys?
Grateful to have my family be doing well and continuing to work from home, and waiting to hear. My son is waiting to hear for his decision on one of the colleges he's applying to for early decision, which will come probably next Wednesday. So right now I'm grateful that he hasn't been rejected yet.
Maybe a different message.
Either
next
way, it's
week.
fine.
that you're in that honeymoon period.
That's right.
Anything?
I'm grateful that my sister is finally doing well, recovering from a very bad case of COVID with several long-haul symptoms, and for all of the rest of my families who seem to be doing pretty well.
Excellent. I also am grateful to the congregation because we're doing this. We have our brand new Temple Teens Mitzvah Club, and we set our goals for this month to provide 25 filled backpacks for teens who are homeless or in transition, going to foster homes. And I see another toothbrush back there. So we set our goals as 25 filled backpacks. We had a whole list of items to be put in the backpacks, and I'm happy to say that we've exceeded our goal. We have at least 27 backpacks that will be filled, that we will be giving to the people who are going to distribute them this Sunday. So I'm grateful to our congregation for rising to the challenge. And so with all of that in mind, we're going to continue with the Shehachianu prayer, thanking God for enabling us to reach this special moment.
אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה
Pause for a moment of silent prayer.
And now please turn to page 180 and join me in Ose Shalom. Do a little more of an up-tempo version that we sometimes do, written by Shlomo Carlebach, I believe. Ose Shalom, Shalom bimroma, hu yase Shalom. Ose Shalom, Shalom bimroma, hu yase Shalom. Hu yase Shalom. Shalom Aleinu, Pi al Kol Yisrael, Imru Amen. Ose Shalom, Shalom Roma, Yase Shalom. Ose Shalom, Shalom Roma, Yase Shalom. Yase Shalom. Shalom Aleichem, V'yakol Yisrael, V'imru Amen. Ose Shalom, Shalom V'yoma, Yase Shalom. Ose Shalom, Shalom Bimroma, Uyase Shalom.
Well, Shabbat Shalom again, everybody. I just wanted to talk for just 1 or 2 minutes about this week's Torah portion, and I said this was a week of good news as far as the Torah portion is concerned, and it's one of my favorite Torah portions. It's the story of Joseph, and how you might recall Joseph is one of the special figures in our people's history and in biblical times. So he started off by being his father's favorite. Unfortunately, among his brothers, his father didn't really know how to show that too well, so gave him a coat of many colors, and Joseph was a little bit of a braggart. So his brothers couldn't take it anymore, and as you might remember, they threw him into a pit and left him there, and then they sold him into slavery, and he was taken down to the land of Egypt, where he became, his talents were recognized by the Egyptians, so he became an aide to a high-ranking official. But that high-ranking official had a wife named Potiphar, you might remember, who liked Joseph a little too much, and as a result, he got into trouble and ended up in jail. But there again, he distinguished himself and had these dreams, was able to interpret dreams in a way which other people could not. And he caught the ear of Pharaoh, who eventually promoted him to be a very high-ranking official in the Egyptian government. And then his brothers actually came down to Egypt because there was a famine in the land where they were living, and they came down they were desperate for food, so they came down and ended up being face to face with Joseph. And Joseph recognized his brothers, gave them kind of a hard time in terms of receiving the food that they wanted, but then eventually he asked them to bring down his youngest brother Benjamin. Once he was there, he revealed himself to his brothers, and they were astonished that this was their brother who they had sold into slavery so long ago. They assumed that he had died. His father assumed that he had died, and so he was able to stand before all of his brothers and exclaim that he forgave them for everything that they had done to him, and brought his entire family down to Egypt. He had the skills to retain enough food to stave off the famine for his family and the Egyptian people, and then the Israelites became the Israelites, multiplied in the land of Egypt, and ended up being the birth of the Israelite people. And when we start the next book of the Torah, the book of Exodus. So just when I was thinking about Joseph's character, how much he learned from his mistakes when he was younger, how much he was able to forgive his brothers, who he easily could have just sent them away without giving them anything, or he could have even imprisoned them. The idea of forgiveness for me is really, really important. When he saw that his brothers had changed their character and they were now different people. And there's a specific example I was thinking of this week. It was all over the news. There was a situation in Medford where a woman had erroneously, the mayor's aide had erroneously put out in a display in town hall a picture of a menorah that she didn't realize was taken from a Messianic Jewish website, which had all kinds of Christian interpretations on it, and so I actually found out about this. I spoke with her. She was mortified that she had made this mistake, and she profusely apologized. And it seemed like some members of the Jewish community were not really willing to accept her apology, which I found to be very unfortunate. And I thought about this story about Joseph forgiving his brothers, and I thought that forgiveness is a very important attribute of our Jewish faith. And when somebody admits that they made a mistake and they apologize for it and try to be a better person for it, it's up to us to grant them forgiveness for what they had done wrong. And so I think about this and think about how mortified she was by this, and how she was reaching out to everybody and asking for forgiveness for the horrible mistake that she had made. She told me that if she could turn back time, she would have, and not done this. So I think it's a current example of an ancient value, that forgiveness is a very, very important part of who we are as Jews, and it can help not only the person who made the mistake, who's willing to seek forgiveness, but it makes all of us better people, and all of us better to have healthier, happier lives and better communication with everybody around us. So that's my message for this evening. Think about Joseph and the way he forgave his brothers, and hopefully we can all move ahead as better human beings. And so with that, we're going to continue with the Aleinu, which you may find on page 586. Please rise if you are able.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Please be seated.
And turn to page 588 and join me at the top of the page. שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגבהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, כך כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, בארץ מתחת, אין עוד. And now, please turn to page 591 and join us as we sing Bayom Hahud. ונאמר, והיה אדוני, ומלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני, אחד ושמו אחד. נאמר, והיה אדוני, ומלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני, אחד ושמו אחד. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני, אחד ושמו אחד. ונאמר, היה אדוני, ומלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני, אחד ושמו אחד. אחד ושמו אחד. אחד ושמו אחד.
The introduction to the Kaddish prayer for those who have died is on page 599. We think now of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us. those who died at the season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. Recall those whose yahrzeits or anniversary of whose deaths occur this week. Mary Gordon, Bernard Pastor, Irving Kadish, and believe it or not, it's the first anniversary of the passing of Eliza Major, who died last year and who is very much still in our hearts at this moment. We also recall all of those who have died of COVID and all those in our community, in our country, and around the world. Zichronam livracha, may all of their memories be for a blessing. We turn to page 598 and rise to recite the Kaddish prayer. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shmei rabbah, b'yalma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'yizman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam olmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yit hadar, v'yit aleh, v'yit halal, shmei d'kudesha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, to our country, and all the world, as we say together, amen. Please be seated. Just want to take a quick second to thank the members of our Temple Band for joining us this evening. They added greatly to the service, and we had Phyllis by herself, and then we had Sheldon by himself, and now we're all of course, both with Ben. So it's great to get a little bit of the band back together, and you guys sounded great. So I'm hoping that we can continue to do this in the future. And thank you to all of our congregants who are here this evening, and all of you who are watching us out there. So we're going to continue now with the Kiddush on page 122. I would like to invite Sheldon, conveniently located on the bima, to lead us in the introduction to the Kiddush. Please rise.
The heaven and the earth were finished. The guitar is making its noise. And all of their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing. And God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kadesho b'yahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila l'mikra'e kodesh, zecher litziat mitzrayim, kivanu v'acharta v'yotanu kidashta mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha b'yahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh haShabbat. Amen.
Thank you. Jane, you want to come up and hold the challah? Just stand right here.
Motzi lechem min haaretz, we give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Thank you very much. Please be seated.
And we'd like to finish up with a closing song that the band has often enjoyed doing. It's a longer version of Bayom Hahu. And I know some of you have heard it before. It's got some extra words in it. I don't think they're in the prayer book, but I hope you can join us at least on the chorus as we come to it.
And it's the Rabbi Rocket Power theme song.
And it's a Rabbi Rocket Power theme song. How could I forget?
More important.
So now you all know it. So here's Bayom Hahu. 2, 3, 4. From the time before, I know that come it will, when each nation shall each other bless, the earth shall fill. God shall reign over the earth. On that day, God shall be one, and your name it shall be one. Dawn of peace will smash the field of war. Everyone be their fine and faith, be afraid no more. God shall reign over the earth, that day God shall be one, and your name it shall be one. Shall come to pass that peace is what we'll find. Then we'll join our hands with everyone above the line. God shall reign over the earth, that day God shall be one, and your name it shall be one.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.